Kelly, if I forget any announcements, right? Just.
I'll do my best. Minutes. Not guaranteed.
I know.
Yeah, me either.
I do this beforehand today. Yeah. Flowers, wow. Yeah, she's.
Alice brought the flowers.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Oh, and then what are we doing for special music instructor here? When it's not done, we skip it.
We'll have
Okay.
things going on.
I just realized, oh, Chuck's doing that today.
I'll sing. I'm just joking.
No, go for it.
Got the mic down, who's on?
Thanks.
I can hear
Your ear is ringing.
Yeah, me too. Thank you.
That's okay. I've used these things for a lot for all the public speaking events.
It doesn't mean
But it's less than.
it just needs
More flowers. Can't see him over there. A place I really should go to in the winter time is the like Como Conservatory or something.
It's a wonderful.
See colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're doing Gathering of Friends this coming weekend. The Pop Antique might be involved.
That's the conservatory. We went that whole area that was closed. Yeah, they were just doing renovations. And if you know anybody that wants to get married in that, don't. You can't hear a thing.
Oh, no, there's no place to sit.
Yeah, but you can't, I mean, I went to one and I couldn't hear what anybody was saying.
Get married where?
At the conservatory, Como Conservatory, because you can't hear what people are being said.
We had a small ceremony, I think something very great.
Yeah, we were small. Okay, well, I went to one and I couldn't hear a thing.
Yeah, no, we really loved it, but we just like to see it do a big watch.
Yeah. Let's sing this twice through. I'll just give you a little intro.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to all of those of you who have joined us live here face to face and all of those who've joined us live online. We're glad that everyone is with us this morning. My name is Bryan. My pronouns are he, him. And I have a few announcements to go through, and there may be some pop-up announcements that come up too, so I appreciate that support. So this is a kind of a new announcement. This really is about how, as a growing church, sometimes we need to adjust certain things, such as the service time, because there's more stuff going on. So we're not changing the service beginning time, but we just want to let you know that we're going to try to keep the service to an hour and 15 minutes, just in case. But even if you need to leave after an hour or whatever, please do. We don't believe in having any hostages. So we're going to just try that disclaimer, an hour and 15 minutes, and see what happens. Movie night, 15 minutes. How was that? Pace? And sorry, I couldn't make it.
You should watch it.
Yeah, really.
Another announcement is, it has to do with our musical productions here. One of the things that we want to recommend is that at the end of the service, when there's a postlude, get it right. I lost an hour of sleep like everybody else, so, today this doesn't really count because we're all going to be singing together for the postlude, but when we have a prepared postlude by musicians, we invite you to sit back down. And if you need to talk quietly, you can, but we come together and honor the work that goes into the piece of music that has been prepared. Next Sunday, the 16th, we have a colleague and friend of mine, Sparrow F. Alden, who's going to come and join us via Zoom to talk about parts of what it means to be a good trouble congregation and some of the social justice work that's going on. And one such initiative that she's involved in is the fight for rights for people who are polyamorous and non-monogamous. So she's going to bring us some information about that. She's a professor, an author, and a retired religious educator from the UU congregation in Norwich, Vermont. Sunday the 23rd, Sana Del Corazon is back, coming and joining us, and we're really excited about that. On Sunday, March the 30th, we have President Molly Marshall and Vice President Sandy Beth Johnson from the United Theological Seminary who are going to come. So we have a busy rest of the month. Also by design, aside from me, every person who's speaking in the month of March is a woman. By design. Fun.
Amen.
All right, and if I could have stepped out, I would have too, but and also we have Dawn leading our service. So speaking of that, we'd love to have someone volunteer to be a service leader for the month of April. Our next third Friday service is March the 21st, the actual spring equinox. And Dawn is putting together that service. We're going to be focusing on the pinwheel image that has emerged from the UU, and we're going to be making crafts. We're going to celebrate this time in the wheel of the year, and the wearing of pastel colors and spring finery, such as garden hats and Easter bonnets, is highly encouraged. I'm looking for an Easter bonnet. You won't we're looking for volunteers to work on the security plan committee. And please remember to sign up for treats online. I think we're really good with that, but just look on there. I think we have a couple more openings. And anybody who's interested in joining in the OWL, Our Whole Lives training in April, please see Kelly. And that's all the ones that I remember at this point. So, others. Alice.
If you guys if you guys didn't read Bryan's blog for this week, do. It's a long one, but he's got a lot of good things to say. And you've already gotten plenty of good compliments, so.
A couple. Not so, but you know.
Oh.
Gotta break a few eggs.
And
Kathy.
I'll go first.
There's a couple opportunities to go lobby with Moose Jaw this week. There's details in the back if you want them.
Cool. And I don't know if maybe Moose Jaw might be here, but Saturday, March 15th at 1 p.m. at the state capitol, there is a protest to support Ukraine.
What day is that?
Saturday.
Next Saturday.
Next Saturday, the 15th
Okay.
this coming Saturday.
Okay.
The 15th at 1 p.m.
I have one more. We have not provided you guys particularly good access to our meeting minutes, the council meeting minutes. And so there's a hard copy, it's probably up
on the back counter. Or
back
the front
counter, and
or
we're gonna
whatever
try
you call
to
it.
do that. That would be last month's meeting, because today's meeting was,
And my notes from today's meeting, but
oh, okay.
I'll take
All right.
it back though.
So, if you're interested, I mean, we will probably set up something where you can look at them at another time, but if you're interested to look at them during today, then you can.
I have a few of these. The Cuba Gallery in Wilmington has a reception this afternoon on their new show. It's Buffaloes, Bighorns, and Bobcats. It's photographs. And this is a little gallery in a house at the trailhead of the Minnesota Valley National Wildlife Refuge. So it's just about 15 minutes away. If you're not doing anything this afternoon, nice day to walk in the woods and stop in and see the show in this old house. And I have a couple postcards I'll put up front
Yeah, it is.
Other announcements? Okay, just a couple more things for us before we prepare for our time together. One is to be reminded that our service is live streamed and recorded and posted on social media. So we just want to make sure that everybody is always aware of that. It's kind of been understood, but we have so many new people and returning people that we want to make sure we let you know that. And also today, during our service, this is Show and Tell Sunday, as most of you probably already know. So we're going to try to be as brief as possible during the other parts of the service, and also ask you that if you are presenting a story and or an artifact, that just be, mindful of everyone's time and that everybody gets to participate. However, I will say that if everybody doesn't get to participate to the level that you want, or you didn't come prepared and you want to still do this at some point, we'll probably do another Sunday of this before the end of the church year, at least a part of it. And I can somehow creatively work that into whatever our schedule is. So, but let's just try to be mindful of that, and we appreciate that. Last thing, we don't take an actual physical offering during the time, but we do have a basket for you to give into, and also you may give online in various ways. Last call. All right, with that, what I would like to do now is ask you to take a deep, slow, gentle breath. Attempt to recuperate that hour that you lost. Try to separate yourself from the chaos and the busyness of the world, and let us come together in unity and meditate on this prelude. I now invite you to remain seated and join in the opening words and the lighting of our chalice. We gather here today not just as individuals, but as a community of seekers, of dreamers, and of those who find joy in the simple act of being together.
Let us open our hearts and minds to the possibility of joy that surrounds us.
As we enter this sacred space, let us pause and reflect on the sources of joy in our lives.
Let us ask each other, what brings you light and warmth? What fills your heart with gratitude and hope? What induces joy within you?
As we show and tell the answers to these questions, may we leave this space not just with our hearts full of joy, but with the intention to share that joy with the world.
Let us be beacons of hope, kindness, and compassion, spreading joy wherever we go, knowing that joy starts within ourselves.
Therefore, in the spirit of shared joy, we light this chalice together and say,
May the light we now kindle inspire us to use our powers to heal with love, to help with compassion, to bless with joy, to serve you in the spirit of freedom, in the fullness of community.
And now please rise as you are able and join us in our opening hymn, which is number 349. 349.
Okay, I'll just give you an intro. It's a pretty familiar tune there.
We gather together in joyful thanksgiving, acclaiming creation whose bounty we share. Both sorrow and gladness we find now in our living. We sing a hymn of praise to the life that we bear. We gather together to join in the journey, confirming, committing our passage to be a true affirmation in joy of tribulation, when bound to human care and hope when we are free.
Please be seated.
This now is our beloved community moment. This is adapted from UU Church of Medford, Massachusetts, and the 7 UU Principles of Black Lives. Dakota Unitarian Universalist Church affirms that Black lives absolutely do matter. We strive continuously to understand more thoroughly that individual and systemic racism must be actively confronted and eliminated for there to be equality, peace, and justice in the nation, and in fact throughout the entire world. We are working to realize and combat white privilege and other elements of elitism and marginalization through our ongoing relationships that we build in this faith group and, just as importantly, outside these walls within the larger community. The Black Lives Matter movement reminds us that we are called as a congregation and as a society to honor the dignity and worth of every human being, which is a fundamental principle of Unitarian Universalism. We also remind ourselves that all Black lives matter: queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly incarcerated Black lives, addicted Black lives, differently abled Black lives, Black women's lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly, and children's lives. Furthermore, it is part of our commitment to uncover the layer of white supremacy that exists in this society and bring to light the anti-Blackness that is present in our everyday lives right here in our midst. Dakota UU's vision is based on the world we want and not the world we are currently in. We seek to transform, not simply to react. We want people to thrive, not just exist, and to think beyond the possible. May it be so.
This is the time during our service when we invite you, if you feel moved to do so, to come forward and share a joy or concern and light a candle from the chalice. And for anybody online who would like to have a candle lit and to share a joy or concern, please let us know and Dawn will light that candle on your behalf.
As you can imagine, I am beyond joyful, beyond grateful, and beyond humbled by having 3 magnificent weeks in Kenya and Tanzania. And this is a warning, this is my gift from Mama Mary, mother of the girl I'm sponsoring. This is a warning that you're going to be hearing me talk about it for a long time and see lots of pictures.
Granddaughter Catherine has her birthday coming up. She's going to be 12 this week.
and just want to say thanks to everybody who came to my concert, and it was wonderful and fun.
There's a unicorn.
What do you want to say? Get up.
Mommy's birthday.
It was Mom's birthday, what was it? Yeah. Also, we had our conferences this week, and Annabelle's reading score had the most like dramatic increase that we've seen. Love you, sweetie.
Movie night. I want to thank the Grindelins for hosting, and that was a movie best seen with Community, and I forget the name of it to tell you the truth, but it's on the email that Chuck sent out late last week, and I really encourage everybody to watch it. It's extremely concerning in terms of what's going on with the planet.
What was it called? Eating ourselves
We're
to extinction?
Eating ourselves to
To
extinction.
We can't just ignore it and pretend it'll go away.
Thank you.
I will now light a candle for all of the joys and concerns that remain unspoken. May we know that whatever befalls us in life, we are held in the loving embrace of this community. And now we say together for all of the joys and concerns, both spoken and unspoken,
We hold you in our hearts.
Before we begin our show and tell time, I invite us into a moment of reflective silence. And now as we begin this time, just a couple of reminders. One, if you have an artifact and or a story to share about something that brings you joy, please feel free to come up in the same fashion as we do during Joys and Concerns and to briefly share with us. We have about approximately 35 minutes because we've excerpted the special music and tried to shorten other parts of the service. Be also reminded that, as I said in the beginning, if you are not prepared to share today, or if you are one that would like to take a little more time to think about sharing before you do so, we'll have another time during this church year before we sort of go to our one Sunday a month in the summer to be able to actually add to this, because I know that people may not even be here who would like to share as well. So we want to make sure that everybody can be involved and share who would like to. So you already all know all the things that bring me joy, so I'm going to go sit in the back, or at least most of the things, right? I'll give you one guess. And so I'm going to go sit in the back and turn it over to y'all, as they say. Warning, I might be taking pictures.
Well, I'll start. Good. I suppose I should stand near the microphone. There we go.
Oh yes, I forgot to say to everybody, when you do share, please try to get as close to that mic as possible.
Okay, so I could not bring my outdoor and indoor clothesline. I come from a family, we all hang our clothes. I use my dryer about 6 times a year. That gives me great joy. So I couldn't bring those, so I don't these guys make you happy? However, they are not very useful in the attempt to reduce my carbon footprint.
I'll go. So what gives me joy are, there are these trolls, these big, huge trolls that are made with reclaimed wood. It's, what's the?
Tom Dambo.
Tom Dambo. And I first encountered them in Maine, the Maine Botanical Gardens, and I brought home some magnets with them on. If anybody's interested later, you can see them. But they're just, you're walking through this garden and there's this huge troll. And there's something about it that just, I don't know, it touches some like little kid part of me that's imaginative, and it just brought me joy. And now there's some in Minnesota, so.
Well, staying with the plant things, I brought one of my orchids here. When we had our last house, it was really ideally suited up for orchids, and we had about 300 different orchids. And got quite well known for culture. I used to teach how to grow orchids to the Wisconsin Master Gardeners Association, to conservatories like Como, the State Fair, with my lovely assistant, Carrie. And I used to send a lot to different shows to be judged. And, you know, COVID kind of put an end to that. We moved to a new place. So I kept mostly a few old favorites. And this was one of my old favorites. Just about every time this went to a show, it would get a red or blue ribbon. And there was another person in Madison who had a similar one. And they would bloom at the same time, so we would always kind of put them next to each other to see who would get the blue ribbon that time. So anyway, I guess that's part of what brings me joy, is some of the old favorites just still blooming and hanging on. And if anyone has any old decrepit orchids that need repotting, see me.
Nice.
That's what I do a lot of too.
Set up on there.
There, lovely.
Nice, so pretty.
I am joyful because my house is full. I couldn't bring it here, well, I kind of did because I have fur all over me. Multiple dogs. I've been taking care of a lot of dogs. And then my son is building a spiral staircase for a tree house.
Oh, fun.
Isn't that a cool idea? He's back in the house too for a little while while he figures out his next move. So I've gone from a very empty, quiet house, which was an adjustment for me, to now a very busy furry. Other people that are rearranging cupboards. Like, trying to find the joy in that. The only thing is that if I put it back, it might be in the wrong place. I'm learning. So that's going to be a joy.
What do you bring? Probably wonder why I have this. It was from Disney World when I went to my birthday. Right?
Yep, for your birthday. We went to
My
Disney World
birthday.
a couple years ago.
A couple years ago.
Yeah, and then she's my thing. She brings me joy.
And I wrote this to your sister.
Everyone's wondering about the case. So, when I thought about what brings me joy, of course, the first thing that popped into my mind was my wife, and then my dog, and then occasionally my bonus children. But what really brings me joy on a regular basis is gaming. I love role-playing games and things like this, and this is my dice box. I've got a few hundred, and my wife had the audacity to ask me if I needed more, and I said yes, of course. It gave me joy. So, thank you.
I didn't bring my grand piano today, but you know what my joy is, right? And I've got shows coming up. Suki and I are playing music for a fish fry at St. Albert the Great Church in Minneapolis on Friday night. And Monday, the 17th, a St. Patrick's Day show, which I got, and then I invited Suki to join me. So bringing joy to seniors in nursing homes and assisted living and memory care is the best.
Yeah.
With music, of course.
piggyback on key stuff with the family. That was, Kathy and family. Obvious joy. Second then, although it could be a little frustrating, is all this tech stuff that goes on behind here. I had it all working at home on Friday. Come in here and nothing's working. I reverted back to the stuff. Brian's mic wasn't going out correctly. And then thirdly, I've done a few of these marathons, so like 66 overall. I've done all 50 states. And the running part of it is the cathartic. Be able to just sit there. I know I've solved world problems. And I stopped running going, God, what was I thinking about? It's all gone. But, but it's just, that's my place of meditation, even though I'm moving, watching cars, trying to, well, I like races because then I'm sitting there trying to talk with people or meet them and stuff. So, anyway, that's
Well, he said family, and I made him dig this out earlier. So this is our last Christmas card, and it's got pictures of everybody on it. So that's all of our family peeps. And I've been really diving into and
Kathy, can you stand by
oh,
the
I'm sorry.
microphone?
I've been developing an appreciation for poetry over the past few years, and so I've been collecting things in this book. So this book has been giving me a lot of joy.
So please step kind of forward of that mic.
Okay.
It doesn't capture behind so well.
You gotta talk into the microphone, not behind it.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but I just realized movie night, anybody that was there knows what my joy is. Because I brought them with me. And thanks,
Danny?
thanks Jim and Kathy for letting me do that.
Well, for those of us who weren't, what is it?
My little baby.
Your little white dog. I suspected, but I just wanted an affirmation. Go ahead. No. Okay.
So this is like from an anime, and I watch a lot of anime. This is from My Hero Academia.
Nice.
You can turn around so we can see it.
Here, hold it.
All we're seeing is the back. Oh, okay. Thank
Nice.
you.
Okay.
That's cool.
Cool.
Thank you.
Switch your today too.
My grandkids watch that.
When I think about what brings me joy, one of the first things I think of is books. I couldn't bring all my books. The second thing is gardening and being out and growing my own food and then bringing it in and eating it. And so also cookbooks. So I brought some cookbooks on purpose for Carrie. So I thought these will be my artifacts that I will share today. So yeah, those. Oh, and mushrooms, I gotta say mushrooms.
Well, eating is a great joy too.
Yes, well, that's true.
I confess I didn't really think about this because I'm still getting over jet lag and unpacking, and you all know, I get so much joy from nature and animals and taking pictures and everything, but today it's perspective. Because I got a text before I was coming home saying, from the people who were kitty saying, cats are great, your septic system backed up. Oh. And there's 13 inches of snow. And yeah, I hear you all, oh, but there's nothing like Africa to give you perspective. I saw people there who were perfectly happy, never having seen a toilet. And I thought, you know, I've got an outhouse in my backyard. I've got everything I need, really. And I just pooped in the middle of the Serengeti. So what's the big deal?
Thank you for sharing.
I debated about it, but I don't know.
Thank you for not bringing it along.
That's just a tell, not a show. Oh, no, come on, I just made an announcement that we're gonna have an hour.
Now we're gonna get out early, huh?
Is there anyone online who'd like to share?
Nope.
Well, that's okay, there's always something I have to say. Thank you for all of you who've shared. As a reiteration of what I tried to say last week, that in the midst of all of the craziness that's going on in the world right now, it's really, really important to understand enacting and practicing joy as an act of resistance. Because, well, you've already heard me say, if you don't, they win. And so we want to make sure that we not only share with each other, but also to take that joy out into the world and spread it, even to the people who may not actually really be able to embody that joy right now. As we continue to celebrate our community's growth, our community's togetherness, our community's unity, our social justice work, our commitment to one another in love, we also continue to move our entire larger community into the direction of joy, or at least that's our hope. One of the things that I'm often reminded of is a song, and I was going to ask Chuck to spontaneously lead us in this, but he's not here with us today. We're thinking about you, Chuck. But one of my favorite songs as a child was, I've got the joy, joy, joy down in my heart. I didn't like any of the other verses. If you know them, you know what I'm talking about. But I've got the joy, joy, joy down in my heart. And sometimes it's so far down in our hearts, we don't even see it. But it's such a joy to be able to see the things among our community that bring us our light, that fire us, that help us get through the times that are difficult, and also those things that continue to instill hope in why we're here in the first place and why do we do what we do. As we move forward as a congregation and we move kind of close to the end of the formal church year, the challenge that I think for all of us in this joy as resistance is to continue to think about not only what brings us joy, but what brings other people joy and who we're missing in this community. Who's not here that should be here? Not that we're pushy, but there are demographics that are missing. And so often that means that we're not looking in every direction that we can to find how we as a congregation can do things that foster and induce joy in other people. So it is always a quandary because we come together to be spiritually fulfilled and to be intellectually fulfilled. And then beyond that, as an act of social justice, as an act of practicing joy as resistance, let us continue to reflect on what we could do differently or at least try, even if we've already tried it before in the past. That was the past. Maybe we need to try it again for the future. To bring activities, to bring different kinds of music, poetry, art, even worship styles, all of those things that could foster joy in other people and invite them more inclusively and expansively and emancipatorily, that's a word. Teaching seminary got me good, didn't it? Into our congregation to help us be what we, as we all the time say in each of our beloved community moments, we're trying to live for a future that doesn't yet exist, but at least we're oriented in the right direction. And the only way that I can see through to keep following in that direction is to practice joy and enable it within ourselves so that we can make sure that other people can experience that as well. I invite you into another intentional moment of silence before we move forward with the rest of our service. And with that, it seems as if, much unexpectedly, we have time for reflection. Sometimes we have to abridge that, but today we have some moments. So if we want to, as a community, to reflect on any of these topics or things or ask questions of each other, let's do it.
I hope that those of you who didn't come up with and do their show and tell about joy today actually still have some joy, even though you didn't talk about it. I hope.
I forgot mine.
Oh,
I left it at home.
She forgot her joy.
I forgot the manifestation of it.
Yes. I will admit, I was hard pressed to think of something.
Well, I thought of something belatedly.
Next time. Well, you know, it's funny, Dawn, you just said that. I mean, it was like, what's a clothesline? What does that have to do with anything? Well, I'm thinking about downsizing, and I'm thinking about an apartment or a townhome or something. They won't let me have a clothesline outside, and, you know, and I'm like, no, can't move. You know, but I have one indoors too, so, you know, I suppose I could still have one indoors, but still, that idea of and that's how come I ended up with that, you know, joy.
There are neighborhoods that don't let you have clothesline.
Yeah, oh yeah, come on.
And there are neighborhoods that don't let you have chickens. I can't believe that.
Or they charge you $25 every 2 years.
Or they won't let you have roosters for some odd reason.
Oh yeah, no.
Can anybody hear me?
Okay, can I do a belated joy share?
Yes, sure.
It's not belated, it's right here in the mix. Let's do it.
Okay, I couldn't think of anything, but your remarks, I said I couldn't think of anything but his remarks and the conversation. Joy can be like a very physical sensation in here. And my first marriage was really, really bad, a nightmarish, abusive, alcoholic, 2 kids in diapers, just, you know, full-time job. I was a royal flaming mess by the time I left my husband. But, you know, you get it together and you get your own apartment and you wait until he's out of town, and then you know, the movers come in, and I moved into the apartment and I took the kids to daycare and left him there for a day, and just all, you know, got all set up in my new apartment. And then when the last time I went out, and I need to get some food in the refrigerator before the kids come home. So I ran to the grocery store and I pulled up in front of this apartment and realized everyone was safe. I was safe, the kids were safe. I was free. I had my new apartment. And just this joy, I mean, just this feeling inside. And I had something gave me the wisdom at that moment. Memorize this feeling. And I sat there in the car. I mean, it's like, you see, I can't even talk about it without this, you know. And next time you feel like an overwhelming joy, it's like memorize the feeling so you can recall it. And it's this massive gift now that, you know, whenever I'm feeling depressed or blah, 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 I can just think, and there it is. I can feel the joy. Anyway, it's a physical feeling that you can remember and learn. That's what I wanted to share. Okay.
Megan's got something to. The chat came up.
Can you hear me?
So,
I can barely hear you.
Well, I don't know. Can you hear me now? I don't know. I do have something I'd like to share, but apparently you can't hear me. You can hear me now? Can you hear me? Oh, okay. Well, the thing that brings me joy, and a lot of other people too, is that we live in a state that is amazing when it comes to the arts. For me personally, what brings me joy is working with my hands. And there is the Textile Center, there is the Weavers Guild, there is there's a place, it was called the Women's Workshop, but they've changed their name, but it's for woodworking, for women and transgender people. I'm trying to think of what are some of the other organizations but it's just a hotbed of creativity and creative opportunities. And this is a very, very special place because I don't know of any place, and of course, everyone of you who is into music, there's so many opportunities in the areas of music, but for me, it's working with my hands. So I just feel blessed and joyful that all these opportunities are available in not just the Twin Cities area, but all over the state, and also the libraries bring me so much joy. And the libraries offer all kinds of free classes that you can attend. It's just amazing. And I just feel so blessed to have ended up here accidentally. It was a lucky break. So anyway, that's it. Now I can't hear what you guys are saying.
Keep noticing that. Okay. My notebook. This is, some of you have heard this already. It's Joy Comes Back by Donna Ashworth.
Get in front of the mic.
Joy Comes Back by Donna Ashworth. When you finally realize that joy is less fireworks, more firefly, less orchestra, more birdsong, she will come back much more often. For joy will not fight with the fast pace of this life. She's not in the shiny or the new. She breathes in the basic, shimmers in the simple, and dances in the daily to and fro. Joy has been beckoning you for many a year, my friend. You were just too busy doing to see. The very next time Joy wraps her quiet warmth around you as the garden embraces your weary body in its wildness, tip her a nod. You cannot force her to stay, but if you are a gracious host, Joy comes back.
And with that, I invite you to join us in our closing hymn and rise as you are able. I think there are 2 verses in the book, and the 3rd verse will be on the screen.
Yes, yes.
You might know the tune. Please rise if you're able.
I'll just give it a good song.
Oh, can we do it in German?
Immortal offspring of Elysium, mad with rapture to the portal of thy holy fame we come. Fashion's laws indeed may sever, but thy magic joins again. Humankind is one forever, 'neath thy mild and gentle reign. Joy in nature's wide dominion, mightiest cause of all is found. And 'tis joy that moves opinion when the wheel of time goes round. From the bud she lures the flower, suns from out their orbs of light. Distant spheres obey her power, far beyond all mortal sight. Build a road of peace before us, build it wide and deep and long. Speed the slow, remind the eager, help the weak and guide the strong. None shall push aside another, none shall let another fall. Work beside me, sisters and brothers, all for one and one for all.
May we all leave this place today taking the joy that has been shared and share it and share it and share it again until you're blue in the face, because there's never enough joy to share. And with that, we also want to send light to the world. So let us remain standing and join in our choral postlude. We are sending you light to heal you, to hold you. We are sending you light to hold you in love. We are sending you light to heal you, to hold you. We are sending you light to hold you in love. We are sending you light to heal you, to hold you. We are sending you light to hold you in love. We are sending you light to heal you, to hold you. We are sending you light to hold you in love. And now, let us fellowship and continue discussion over treats. Thanks for everyone who's joined us. Have a good week.
Brian's true joy.
Yes.
What do you think about treats for our spring equinox? We're kind of having more grand treats, so if you want to bring a potluck item to share, that doesn't require plugging in a crock pot, I'll have a bigger table set up for us to do that.
And when is that on?
That is Friday, the 23rd.
Yeah, she would love it. She has to. She doesn't think more of yeah, that's what she's on now. I don't know if it's free, but it's
Thanks, Tom.
That goes in first. I'll be right back.
Thank you for being gracious.
Sherry, yes. We can, I just read your chat. So, Keith. So, Sherry, I'll try to get Keith's information to you. He's the one that was talking about the orchid. And I'll let him know or get that contact for you.
Years ago, when we first got computers in our house,
So we got 20s, 12s, percentiles and 10s, 8s, 6s, and 4s. And then we've got some special dice in here too that do different things like game dice. I got some dice that are cheaters that get all 20s and just 1 1 on it. There's like dice to say, you know, what you find a treasure kind of thing, and where you get hit when you get back. And then in here are actually 8 sets of dice that are super it's with the cookie dough.
I can't get this to fit in the closet, and I don't want it to. It doesn't fit in the closet. It goes back around the
Oh my God.
We're all little guys.
Have you ever run into double D6s?
That is my favorite one.
A double D6. It's something our friend does. It's basically, just a D12. One has each number on it twice. So it's a lot more fun to roll.
Okay.
And your D6s.
Cool. I do not have one. That might have to be an acquisition in the future.
He also has some of those commercial games that sort of stuff.
Love it, guys.
So what systems do you play?
Well, yeah, I did Dungeons and Dragons backwards and basic rest. I've been playing since '85 and jamming since '86. So, but second edition I've done. I'm in fifth now. I'm in a Stargate game currently. So another system very similar, based on the 5e. Shadowrun, Cyberpunk. When I'm running the games and I have monsters out, I use little Christmas carolers. if I don't have the actual need.
Nothing's more terrifying than sailors coming up to your door.
I know, right? It's worse than joining my mom.
To do it so much.
Thank you. You like that? Did you see the ones on the sides too? Yeah, after a while it's coming off. She's trying to escape.
We have Bryan to our second game in Alien RPGs.
Solid metal base.
The science and then like the afterwards or something. So it all happens, the acts happen like years apart, so you're different characters. It's really fun to do that sort of alien
She doesn't want to make the eggs.
We can't play because the game is not scheduled.